What do Falcons do? Rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, the show where we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, and man, what a great weekend for Atlanta. If you're watching this video and think, man, I've already heard part of this, you did. It's because I had to remake this video. I didn't realize that about the 10-minute mark there was a massive failure of the microphone, so we're starting over from scratch. Real quick, this is going to be a super fast shout out. Atlanta Braves now have a 2-game lead in the NL East race with only about 3 or 4 games left to play, so good chance of closing that out as the winners once again, with a good shot to make it to the World Series, as the Braves are playing really, really well overall and have a good coherent team this year. The Georgia Bulldogs, after a struggle win against Missouri, beating them 26-22, having to come back late in the game. Again, another win. And then Georgia Tech soundly defeating Pittsburgh, a ranked Pittsburgh team. That's one of their first ranked wins in a long time. So as much as I don't like Georgia Tech, good job to you guys, and thanks for letting Georgia get another win for the weekend. And then the Atlanta Falcons, the team of the hour, 23-20 over the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland, all things come back to roost eventually, and you guys made a very poor decision with your quarterback and paying him over the off season. So there's consequences to be paid, and one of those consequences is losing to the Falcons at home. Now the Falcons. We are a team of just scrappy underdogs. We are doing incredibly well for those scrappy underdogs. Every game decided by 4 points or less. This is a great team that I didn't think I'd be talking about in this kind of light this early in the season. So let's talk about the good of this game. The good, we developed a run game that we didn't have before. Cordell Patterson did get a little injured. He's 31. Again, I look for him to be banged up pretty easily going forward. But we had the emergence of Caleb Huntley stepping up out of nowhere, undrafted free agent on the team last year on the practice squad. Went through offseason again this year. On the practice squad, elevated for one play on week 2, back to the practice squad. I think he's earned a roster spot going forward. He looked like a breath of fresh air and just looked amazing, busting off 4 to 6 yard runs consistently on his drive where he was the feature and did end up getting a touchdown, 10 total carries, 56 yards, and a touchdown. Tyler Algier stepping up, 10 carries, 84 yards, including one big one for 42 that set up one of our game-winning drives. Man, what a great player we have there. I can't wait to see him develop. I look for him to probably be the lead back going forward, and then Cordell maybe will take a step back or kind of be more of a change of pace back. Maybe he finally moves back out to wide receiver. I think he has a healthier shelf life for us. But I think we are moving forward as a solid run team. We are a top 4 run team in the NFL right now, having a grand total of 672 yards 4 games into the season. So much better than we were last year on the run game, and I think that's one of the reasons that we are successful on offense. Now, even though we developed the run game, we didn't discover our run game till late in this game. We lost the time of possession battle tremendously, 35.5 minutes to 24.5 minutes. The Cleveland Browns were running the ball with Nick Chubb. By the way, welcome back, Nick. I'm glad you were able to find the end zone with all of your family watching. That was kind of a special moment for you. I do wish you were on the Falcons. That would really make me feel better. But, hey, you know what? It is what it is, and I do wish you well. I don't wish you poorly just because your front office is making poor decisions. But, yeah, we did not control the time of possession. Part of that was the fault of Marcus Mariota. He failed as a quarterback this week. He had 7 completions on 19 attempts, 139 yards and an interception, QB rating of 26.5. He has not gotten above a 40 QBR for the last 2 games, and they were against opponents that I would consider weaker overall. He played better against the Rams and the Saints, both of which I would have thought were better opponents. The Rams, yes. The Saints, this is looking like a little bit of a problem now. I wish we could have won that game, because if we had won that game, we would be in sole possession of first place in the NFC South, something I didn't think would be leaving my mouth at all this year. So, you know what? I think we are a better team than I gave us credit for. I think we're a better team than a lot of people gave us credit for. I do have a friend, Aaron McClure. You said we were going to be good. I am throwing out the shout out to you. If you ever develop a YouTube channel, I will be more than happy to shout you out. But I have had a couple of friends who said that we were going to be good. I didn't really believe it based on the fact that 35% of our salary is going to pay players who no longer exist on our team. But anyways, we did really well in the run game. I think we had 177 total yards. Other things that we did well. We played really, really good defense against a solid rushing team. Our linebacking and defensive line core led the way in this game. You had Michael Walker, who has been kind of our de facto leader on the defense, wearing the green sticker there at the middle linebacker position. 11 tackles, 8 solo tackles, and really doing a good job of commanding the defense. Rashawn Evans, 10 total tackles, 5 solo. A guy that we brought in again from the Tennessee Titans after he got cut, former first-round pick. He's a guy that is trying to make a strong case for why he should be on our team as a long-term option when we do have a bunch of salary cap at the end of the year. Lorenzo Carter, another add-on that we brought on with a QB hit, a pass defended, 7 total tackles, 5 solo tackles. No sacks, but again, he did have a pressure on the quarterback there. Taquan Graham, 5 total tackles, 4 solo, and a QB hit at a key moment in the game in the fourth quarter. Grady frackin' Jarrett, 5 tackles, 3 solo, and a sack. The sack coming in the fourth quarter on a key drive, and the play right before it was a play where he made a heads-up decision as the leader of our defensive line, realized that they were setting up a screen to Kareem Hunt and backed off of his pressure and blocked the passing lane, allowing our pressure to get to the quarterback and cause him to make a bad pass. So, again, great heads-up play by Grady Jarrett and great play at a key moment in the game. I wish we could have said his name more. We have 8 total sacks on the year, again, 17 total last year. We are on a good trajectory for that. We have more QB pressures. We only had 65 last year. This is looking good. And then other guys who made key plays, Jalen frickin' Hawkins on the on the 20-yard line, forcing a fumble and causing the Falcons to be in great position to get a touchdown early on in the game. You are one of our big shout-outs for the week. And the other guy who was a big shout-out for the week where is he over here? I know he's in here somewhere. D. Alford getting the game-sealing interception when it was still up in the air as to if we were going to be able to pull it out and at least force a tie to go into overtime or possibly lose the game. He stepped up in a big way and made an interception. We did incredibly well on pass defense this game. They did attempt 35 passes, only completed 21. We pretty much kept, Amari Cooper kept him quiet the entire game, which I thought was great. David Njoku did tear us up a little bit, but he is also the guy that fumbled the ball thanks to I just said his name. Where is he? Jalen Hawkins, thanks to him. So, again, we played very well overall as a team and as a unit. Our offense, though, leaves a lot to be desired through the air. Now, Marcus Mariota has not completed more than 230 yards worth of passing. We do have big weapons here. Kyle Pitts, we have Drake London, both of which were kept quiet in this game, even though Drake London has 7 targets, only 2 receptions. Olamide Zaccheaus had a major 42-yard reception that helped get us in scoring position towards the end of the game. So big shout out to him as well. And then Younghoe Koo, 3 field goals to help get us over the hump and get the win. Marcus Mariota is obviously not the answer at quarterback. I think that we are finally seeing why he was a backup for all these years and why the Tennessee Titans moved on from him when they did. I would love to see Ritter. I want to see what we have in him. Because I think that we actually are going to be a competitive team going forward, but we're going to need to be able to throw the ball. Now, as far as games that we have left, we have to play the Buccaneers at Tampa this week. They are not playing particularly good football, but Tom Brady did wake up on offense this week and score 31 points. I look for that to be a really big sign of how the Falcons are going to do going forward. If we keep it close or win, then I'm going to reevaluate everything that I've thought about the Falcons for this season. If we lose big, it's going to reinforce my thoughts. If we lose in a close game, again, I think we could potentially have a better season than I thought we would here. Now, looking at our schedule going forward, initially I had a lot of L's in this column here, but let's go back. We're 2-2 now. We could easily have been 3-1 if we just hadn't blown it against the Saints, and we almost came back on the Rams. So there's a chance we could have been 4-0 here, but we're 2-2, so we're not going to play in the what-if game. But Tampa Bay, we go to Tampa. Let's just say we lose that one. we have to go, or we play the 49ers at home. I don't look for us to win that game, but we played a lot better than I thought we would. That's a toss-up game now. The Bengals, at the Bengals, I don't think we win that game. So let's just give 3 losses there. Then we have the Panthers. That's a game I think we win now. We have the Chargers. Depending on which Chargers show up, we're probably going to lose that game. But then we have the Panthers again, which I think we could sweep them this year. The Bears look awful. I think we're going to sweep them. We have the Commies coming up. The Commies in Washington will be a tough game. If Ritter is not playing by that point, he probably will end up playing in that game because, good Lord, Marcus Mariota or one of our running backs, somebody key is going to go down with a knee injury because we're playing them Thanksgiving weekend at the Washington Commanders field. And again, I've done a video on this. Most of their injuries to people's knees happen later in the season because they have just absolutely poor groundskeepers. But right now, I'm going to give us a win there. Steelers, I'm going to give us the win there. Saints, I think we could easily win that game because they're playing bad. And we're probably going to lose against the Ravens. Cardinals, we could win that game. They're not particularly playing great football, though DeAndre Hopkins will be back at that time. Just depends on if they make a late push or not. And then the Bucs at home. Again, we could potentially steal one here, but right now, that's 7 games without giving us any of the 50-50 games. That's 7 games that we have a solid chance of winning going forward. 6 if you take away the Cardinals. That is, if we have those 7 wins, we're 9-8. We are a winning football team, better than the year before, with everything stacked against us, and a possible playoff team. 9-8 is good enough sometimes to get into the playoffs. I think you're going to have to be a 10-7 or an 11-6 team to make it this year. But hey, if we steal one from the Bucs and we steal one somewhere else down the line, maybe from the 49ers, then we're talking about 11-6. If we win all these games, now a lot has to go right for us. We have to steal a game here and there from teams that we're expected to lose against, and we have to play out of our minds and do well and continue to win when it matters against teams that we should compete with. So there's a lot going against us here. I do look for this to be a good competitive year going forward. Again, this next week will tell us a lot about our season. But guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm going to do another video this week talking about my record for picking games, which is doing really well so far. We have another Monday night game tonight that will determine how well I actually do or not. But please let me know what you think about our team down in the comments below. Would love to hear about it. It helps the channel grow. Please consider liking and subscribing the video. That also helps the channel grow. My goal is to eventually get to 1,000 subscribers. We're a long way from that, but I would love to at minimum hit that goal. That'll be a big moment for me no matter how long it takes. But guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, rise up.